Let's look at some software companies. I want to look at some of the exciting biotech companies too. So many things to look at, not enough time, right? Should we look at Uber? That could be fun. What do you think? Or JD? Visa, MasterCard, Sony or Netflix, Schrodinger, Pinduoduo. Do you guys know them? I really have to look at Pinduoduo. Huge market cap. A lot of people don't think of some of these companies as traditional software companies, but if your whole company is built on a software product, you're a software company. Like, you could argue Uber is more of a logistics company. I mean, if it's a company that uses software, is that really a software company? I would say Airbnb is. Yeah, it is a little weird to think of DoorDash as a software company, but they wouldn't exist without their software, right? Sony, Netflix, one of the payment processors, or PayPal. What do you guys want to look at? TikTok is 100% a software company. They got thousands of software engineers. Sony. Sony's a tough one. Sony's Japanese. It's not weird. They're not weird financial statements. They're just Japanese. Sony Investor Relations. The stock is 12,000 yen, or the ADR, which is, I'm guessing, what most people want to trade. 8780. It used to be SNE. Now it's Sony. 8780. Currency, 0 decimal places, and yen. Where are we, yen? She's really growling. Okay, are you that hungry? Looks like she's pretty hungry. Alright, she's hungry. You guys want to check out the kitty for a minute? And then we'll get to Sony. Sorry, everyone. If I don't feed this cat, I don't know what's going to happen. Let's take a look. Right, kitty? You hungry, right? Good. That's good, kitty. Come here. Oh. I'll feed you. What is this? Tuna feast? Oh my god, tuna feast. Tuna feast. Tuna feast and gravy. What? Tuna feast? This is a tuna feast? Oh my god, you're gonna have a tuna feast? Oh, it looks so yummy. Yeah, have some tuna. Yummy. Sorry for the interruption. I lost like 20 viewers during that. Let's go back to financial statement analysis. Okay. So now we just need to look at the shares outstanding. I'm going to save the file as a primary ticker, but I should probably just save it as Sony. Confuse anybody. Remember, you can download all my models on GitHub. It looks like it's 880 million, but I want to see the specific shares outstanding column somewhere. You know, these Japanese stocks are a little bit different from American. And in fact, this is a little bit different from most Japanese stocks. I've looked at Japanese stocks my whole life. Well, here are the shares outstanding. Okay. So it's a little different than I thought, actually. 1.238 billion, it looks like. So the market cap in yen is 14 trillion, which is about 120 billion, right? The market cap in dollars is 108 billion, 109 billion. Okay, so I got my conversion a little off, but 109 billion. Look at the balance sheet as well. Just trying to see if we can glean anything off the bat, but let me take a look. I would study computer science at college, but it all depends on what you like, you know? It's not about, you can make money doing anything. All right, so I'm also trying to figure out their fiscal. Their Sony margins are actually pretty good. We're gonna look into their split of businesses. There's financial services. Okay, so margins aren't that good because I'm gonna include financial service expenses in COGS. Okay, that makes more sense. I was kind of surprised at how good the margins were. But they don't really have an R&D line, which is pretty impressive. So if you don't have an R&D line, that's a nice business. putting numbers in the wrong columns again. I do that sometimes. Looks like I did that. Error. Bit of a difference there. About 10% margin over at Sony. That's not very good. Doesn't mean it's like good for the stock or bad for the stock. I'm just talking about good for the business. Make sure you understand the difference there. Huge difference. Just because something is good for the business doesn't mean it changes the stock price. FinViz is good for like one specific module. It's like a poor man's equivalent of like one piece of a Bloomberg. That being stock screening, obviously. So, to me, I mean, a lot of these tools are just really incomplete. Like whale wisdom, it's like, does one specific like function of a Bloomberg, isn't that sad? Like, then you got to go to a totally different website for SEC filings. But if you don't want to use Bloomberg for ideological reasons, which I can understand, to be honest, or it's too expensive for you, which I also can understand, there's not a great solution, which is why we make 𝗏𝗏, or why we're making it. It's still not quite done yet. Yeah, I think Kelvin's right about some of these things. You know, SEC filings are all you need. But if you do want to look up news, if you're an active trader, sometimes looking up news and looking at stock prices and quickly being able to summon all the information you want, there is something, to be said for doing that. I don't think that's a bad thing. That's why most professional investors do use Bloomberg for that, so I don't think it's that bad. It's just very expensive, and you can't often log on because it's just such a difficult to use piece of software, and it's so old. So it also doesn't have any good quant features. The pricing relationship and contract is really annoying. It's not a problem if you work at a big hedge fund or something, but if you're a one-man shop or you're running a small fund or something like that, it's really cumbersome. Like if you go from needing 5 Bloombergs to 4, they don't let you just downsize to 4. It's really, really funny. I agree, TradingView is a great product. TradingView is a great product for charts. They have best-in-class charts. And we're going to try to give them a run for their money, but there's no doubt that they have a very, very good chart product. The problem is that's really all they have, right? So I know that, they're trying to do other things, but that's really... If you have 4 employees, you need 4 Bloomberg terminals, and let's say you fire one of those employees because he recommended GameStop to you, then you have 3 employees, and you have 4 Bloombergs, unfortunately. You can't downsize. They don't let you stop using the 4 Bloombergs. They once came to me and they were like, yeah, you can't downsize. And I was like, I literally need less of these. And they're like, sorry. And I'm like, what am I going to do? They're like, can you give the assistant to Bloomberg? I was like, no, I can't give the assistant to Bloomberg. I'm not too big into DeFi. I think it's a little bit silly, to be frank. All right, let's take a look here. We have customers, whatever that is. You gotta love Japan. Oh, no, okay, game and network. Okay, game and network. So this is PlayStation. All right, so music is now a fairly small business for Sony. Pictures, in other words, film, also fairly small business. So it's games and I guess what they're calling entertainment technology and services. I'm guessing those are appliances? Or like televisions and things like that? Not appliances, but TV. Imaging and sensing. I don't know what products go in what space, I guess, is the issue. And then we have financial. Okay. All right, so music, recorded music, entertainment, there it is, televisions. Televisions, audio and video, still and video cameras, and mobile. Okay, so I'm going to break that out a bit here. TVs, audio, video, cameras, and mobile is, I'm guessing they sell phones. But yeah, TVs, small business for them, 250 billion yen. So what's that? 2 billion. Is that 2 billion USD? Yeah, I guess so. Per quarter, that's not that small. I don't value technical analysis, no, but I'm not saying that you shouldn't or should or shouldn't. I mean, technically, I generally don't think it's useful, but if it works for you, it works for you, you know? All right, so we're looking at their balance sheet now in yen. So it looks like they have about 1 trillion JPY. In cash, maybe 1.6 trillion. Let's look at some debt. Oh, they have some debt. I'm kind of going to try to do the balance sheet excluding the financial services. That's probably the better move here. All right, so they basically don't have any net cash if you look at the balance sheet excluding the financial services, which, again, I'll do a deeper dive in the financial services some other day. But at least for this quarter, the holiday quarter, let's get the exact yen. Exact yen number. It's 136. Okay, so 25 billion in revenue for the holiday quarter, so probably a little under 100 billion in revenue for the annual for the whole company. You can see margins are around 10%. It's hard because they probably have a big holiday quarter. Here's 9-month consolidated cash flows. Okay. Unfortunately, okay, hold on. Fortunately, it seems to be negative, which seems strange. It's very volatile as well. This is like I said, fairly confusing company to get a good sense of. All right, so the forecast is they'll do a little less than 100 billion, like around 90 billion in revenue. And what, 10 billion in operating income, roughly? But net income of, I don't know, about 7. So the market cap is 109. So 109, well, let's look at the yen over yen. It would be 17 times earnings. I will say it's a very confusing financial picture. Games are only 36% of the company. Constant currency base is very important, yes. All right, I'll save this. Let's look at the prior quarter if we can. All right, let's take a look at, this is the September quarter. So this was fiscal Q2 23. This is fiscal Q3 23. We're in fiscal Q4 23. These are the Japanese fiscal quarters. I don't wish it on my worst enemy. Actually, I do. I wish a lot of things on my worst enemies, but that's another story for another day. You know, they have receivables, they have payables on financials, so sometimes keep that in mind. They have a finance business too, Ford. All right, gross margin 26%. Like high 20s, low 30s. It's interesting that you look at this like big conglomerate, right? 100 billion in revenue. They do games, music, movies, televisions, and the gross margin's around 30 cents. So it costs them about 70 cents for every dollar of product they sell. Pretty interesting. The games were probably a little bigger than normal in the Q4 period, but certainly for that one quarter it was 37% of revenue. But for some of these other quarters it was just more normal, like 27%, pretty consistent actually. Music is lumpy too. I guess it's based on whatever hits they have coming out. They were big artists. Although maybe it's not that lumpy, I don't know.